The Minnesota Secretary of State says that Minnesota could have the highest voter turnout in the country. Steve Simon said today that so far more than 3.2 million Minnesotans voted in the election. That's out of roughly 4.1 million eligible voters. Kate Raddatz shares how the numbers stack up to 2016 and what will happen to absentee ballots that are still coming in.
A day after the election, Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon said there were close to 250,000 absentee ballots still outstanding.
For a variety of reasons, that number will never be zero, and the actual number is probably considerably less.
He said the large number could include voters who requested an absentee ballot but changed their mind and instead voted in person. After an 8th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled last week that ballots had to be received by 8 p.m. on Election Day, Secretary Simon said the votes will be counted, but they will be segregated.
They had us and had the counties and cities segregate and set aside a pile of ballots so that a presidential candidate could seek to invalidate those ballots.
Simon said there had been no litigation as of Wednesday afternoon. Voter turnout is also on track to break records. Secretary of State Simon said Wednesday that the voter turnout with the state's more than 4.1 million eligible voters had already surpassed the roughly 75% voter turnout in 2016.
Our preliminary data shows an estimated 88% turnout of Hennepin County voters.
Ballots were still being counted in Hennepin County in the afternoon. The city of Minneapolis set a new voter record with an estimate of more than 237,000 ballots cast in the city, smashing the 219,000 from 2016.
Because of everything that's been going on within the city, and everybody's impacted, but we've been impacted directly, and we want to change.
Simon said that it's still too early to say if Minnesota will have the highest voter turnout, but asked people to be patient as the process takes its time. Kate Raddatz, WCCO 4 News.
Simon tells us that a presidential candidate is able to request a recount at the government's expense if the voters are within 0.25% difference. But he did say any candidate is allowed to ask for a recount if they handle the expense.